Hello guys, so let's start. This is the video series where we are going to solve the DPP from PW Shod 2.0 batch. This is the first DPP of inheritance biology. So let's start with the question 1. So the question 1 says Mendel's law of inheritance is applicable to. So we know Mendel law of inheritance is only applicable in eukaryotes genome, eukaryotes genome or genomic DNA, genomic DNA. So it is only could be applicable in nucleus because plasmid, plastidial DNA and mitochondrial DNA doesn't maintain the doesn't applicable the Mendel's law, or these are not the genomic DNA for eukaryotes. Eukaryotes genomic DNA only present in nucleus, so nucleus is the correct answer. Question number 2. Possible types of gametes formation from genotype AA, BB, CC, DDE. Okay, so we know the possible types of gamete formation from genotype is there is a formula that is 2 to the power n, and this n is number of heterozygous. So let's count the number of heterozygous. This is homozygous, this is homozygous. So we couldn't count these two. Capital C small c is heterozygous, capital D small d is another heterozygous, and capital D small e is another heterozygous. So there is only three heterozygous, that is n equals to 3, and n equals to 3, so 2 to the power 3, and that is 8. Option 3 is correct answer. Extra chromosomal inheritance can be detected by question number 3. Extra chromosomal inheritance. Extra chromosomal inheritance. So if we see the extra chromosomal inheritance, it could be the maternal inheritance. Extra chromosome means extra nuclear DNA that is only present in mitochondria or chloroplast, and that kind of DNA uh, uh, that kind of DNA shows maternal inheritance, and maternal inheritance could be detected. Inheritance could be detected by reciprocal cross. Option C is the correct answer. Next, diploid maize has 10 pair of chromosome. Okay, diploid maize, that is 2n equals 10 pair means 20 chromosome. The number of chromosome in metaphase 1, number of chromosome in metaphase 1. The metaphase 1, the chromosome didn't divided yet, so the number of chromosome will remain same, and in that case 2n equals 20 will be the answer. Next, typical Mendelian dihybrid ratio. F2 generation of typical Mendelian dihybrid ratio is 9:3:3:1. Next, question number 6. Among the following Mendelian inheritance is obeyed by. Among the following Mendelian inheritance obeyed by. Transposon doesn't obey Mendelian inheritance because it transposes from another one site to another locus, so it couldn't follow Mendelian inheritance. The quantitative inheritance doesn't also follow the Mendelian inheritance because it is a example of multiple gene. It is an example of multiple gene. Organelle means, again, it is organelle is a maybe example of mitochondrial inheritance or chloroplastial inheritance. That is another example of maternal inheritance, so it couldn't be follow. And then gene for vertical transfer of disease, that could follow Mendelian inheritance. That is vertical transfer. Vertical transfer means one generation, parental generation, to F1 generation, that is parental generation to filial generation. It is the transfer of gene from parental generation to F1 generation is vertical transfer of DNA, transfer of gene. And another term we know, that is horizontal transfer of DNA, that is uh, uh, income that is you can say we can found in conjugation or transduction or transformation, that are the sexual reproduction of bacteria. So this is the only way where we can found Mendelian inheritance. Next question is the test cross of F1 progeny. The test cross of F1 progeny is crossed with, obviously, recessive parent. Test cross is some F1 progeny, something that could be anything, crossed with small a small a. This is the test cross. So this is exactly the recessive parent. Next, C value measures. C value measures actually the complete genome present, or we can say the DNA present. We can say, let make it easy. DNA present in a haploid cell. DNA present in a haploid cell. So option one, we can see haploid content of the genome. That's the C value. That's the C value. Again, we have another question of possible gamete formed, and we know the formula is 2 to the power n, and n is number of heterozygous. So capital A small a is not a heterozygous. Capital B small b is a heterozygous. Capital C is not a heterozygous. Capital D capital D small d is heterozygous, and capital E small e is heterozygous. So again, it is n equals to 3. So we can say 2 to the power 3 number of gamete will be produced, that is number of gamete is 8. Next question number 10. So Mendelian law of independent assortment due to the arrangement of chromosome during, okay, so in the independent assortment, Mendel said that all the possible combination of allelic configuration will be occurred. So if we see the one allele is this, one allele is this, and another allele is another chromosome, sorry, not allele, another chromosome is this. Okay, these two are homologous chromosome, and this in the prophase one, this segment of allele will be transferred from chromosome number 2 to chromosome number 1. We think that we are drawing this like the crossing over already performed. So in that case, this chromosome and this chromosome will be separated in anaphase one, and if this chromosome and this chromosome are separated, then the obviously all the types of independent assortment all the types of probable gametes are already found. So answer is anaphase one. That's it for this video, and I hope you like this video. So subscribe the channel if you like.